Hey, what's up, JoJo in the Morning family? Hope everybody's having a really good day. Today we're going to have the outside edition, I guess you could call it. Might hear a little bit of wind blowing. We're outside. It's a beautiful day. As you can see right there, we got some Christmas decorations outside. I did marry the Christmas queen. My wife absolutely loves Christmas. We already have our trees up, and yes, we have 8 trees up to be exact so far in our house, but I'm sure before it's all said and done, there'll be a few more. Now, hey, I want to talk to you about something that's fun. I want to talk to you about something that I used to love preaching this, and I used to preach this a lot to young people. This is how I would start a service. I would say, hey, I want to ask everybody in here a question. If you could do anything in the world with your life, without asking yourself the question, how am I going to get it done? How am I going to afford it? Who's going to help me? Any of those questions. Just if you could do anything in the world with your life, what would you want to do? And that was a question I would ask. And it's so funny because when it was a smaller group setting, you would hear different people. They would say something, and then I would think to myself, oh, I can see that. I can see that happening. And then they would go, nah, but that could never happen. I said, whoa. Hang on. When you were saying that, I could literally see that happening. And then they would say, but how am I going to afford it? That was part of the question. You can't say, how can I afford it? See, God doesn't dream through you according to your bank account. He dreams through you according to the kingdom of God. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. You know, a lot of people, they would say, well, who's going to help me? That's not it. God will bring your team with you. God will change your team, build your team. We started Roar Church Texarkana about a little over 4.5 years ago. We started it with the core group, a nucleus of 25 people. 4 of those people are still with us today. 4 out of 25. I was telling that to one of my buddies, and he laughed and he said, that's funny, man. He said, because my church is 5 years old, and I started with about 20 people, and I have one guy. Not even a couple. I got one guy. So see, when you start with something, it doesn't mean that's what you're going to finish with. When my wife and I first got married, we lived in a triplex. Not even a duplex, y'all. We lived in a triplex, okay? Our living room was the size of this hot tub, okay? We ain't living in a triplex anymore. We moved to Houston, and then we came back and we bought us a starter home, a little 3-bedroom, 2-bath, nice little home, and we built it, and then we built another house, and it was a little bit bigger, and then we built this house. And so in life, you grow. You grow into what God has called you to do. You know, my wife loves having people over, people in our church, people in our health coaching community. In our first house, we could have got about 3-4 people in there. You know, you grow. And so don't ever limit what you're going to do with your life. Like this. Someone says, hey, I want to be a doctor. Okay, that's great, but you're only in junior high. I know, I got to finish junior high. Then I go through high school. Then I get my associates, bachelor's, master's. You may go on to get your doctorate, whatever. But you keep growing. That's how it is with God. And the cool thing about God is you don't know exactly what he's going to do, how he's going to do it, and who he's going to bring in your life. You know, I think back, I'm 49 years young, and probably like the 3 or 4 things that we do the most of in our life, we've started within the last 5 years. There was a time that I worked at churches and I traveled full time and I wrote books, and that's pretty much what I did. And then the Lord had us to launch a Revival Hub Prayer Center. And I still do the other stuff. I still write books, I still travel. But now the bigger things we do is, we have the church, we have YouTube, social media, Facebook. We have those channels that we do. We have our health coaching community. I do the mentoring program. But I wasn't doing any of that 5 years ago. You grow. All you have to do is say yes. So let me awaken the dreamer in you today. Kind of like I talked about yesterday. Where is that kid? Where is that childlike faith? My wife and I, whenever God gives us, and we're working on new things. I mean, we're always working on stuff. And so, like whenever God calls us to something, we don't ever look at the cost. We don't ever look at who's around us. If our team, if we don't have everybody in place, God will start to bring people in. He will start to bring people from other cities in. He will bring other people to come in. If the finances aren't there, we'll have people to sow. It always happens. He always comes through because that's who he is. That's what he does. And so the problem is, when you were a little kid, God gave you this big dream, and then you started telling your big dream to small minds, and then they suppressed you down. But I remember one time there was a baseball player they were interviewing, and they said, "Hey, when you were a little kid, what did you want to be?" He goes, "A baseball player." Like when you got in elementary school, what did you want to be? He said, "Baseball player." In junior high, baseball player. High school, baseball player. I never deviated. I'd strike out, never deviated. Got benched, never deviated. I'm gonna be a baseball player. It was Jason Giambi, and he just said, "This is what I wanted to be. That's what I wanted to do. No matter what team I was on, no matter what the coach thought about me, this is what I wanted to do. Is who I wanted to be." And so, let me ask you, if you could do right now, if you could do anything in the world, what is on your heart to do? I had somebody tell me one time. He said, "If I could do anything, I would want to build water wells in Mexico. I like my job. I like what I do. Our family's secure. Our family's stable financially. We have a good family. But there's something in my heart that says I want to build water wells in Mexico and in different nations where there's not any water wells." That was their desire. Other people want to start a business. Other people want to start a ministry. A lot of people want to go for their dream. One of the reasons that Autumn and I started health coaching is, we knew God had called us to do that. But a lot of our friends were doing it because they wanted time freedom. They wanted the freedom to do what they needed to do and wanted to do. And so everything that we do, like we work for ourselves in all the different ministries and businesses and the creative stuff, everything, the digital marketing, the writing of books. When I travel, I ask the Lord, yes or no, do I go, do I not? And the thing is, we've created a life that God can dream through. Oh my gosh, that was good. Say it again. Thank you. Okay. We've created a life. Now God can dream through us. I remember one day, Mr. Sid Roth's office called and said, "Hey, can you come shoot?" Like, I have my own, I've been on Mr. Sid's show, but I have like 2 seasons already shot. I got my own TV show with Sid Roth Network. And he said, "Hey, can you come in 2 weeks for 3 days and shoot 14 shows?" We didn't have to ask anybody, because we'd said yes to God so much. We had built a life. Yes, sir, I can come. So my wife and I got together and we rearranged our schedule so I could go. About 8-10 months later, something like that. I'm not that good with time. Mr. Sid Roth's office called again and said, "Hey, can you come in 3 weeks?" I said, "Yes, sir, I can." He said, "And bring your wife and bring your oldest daughter with you this time." I said, "Yes, sir." So we just worked our schedule around. Because we said yes so much to God, we had built the life that God can send me. Now, like with my revival friends, they'll call me like, hey, Joe, just want to let you know revival's breaking out. How much notice do you need for me to fly you into the revival? 24 hours. Give me 24 hours. I can book a ticket. I can be there. There's been times that we'd had revival moving. I'd call my friends up. Hey, like if I need you on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday night, like can you just drop everything, fly in? They say, I'm in, I'm good. Because they built a life by saying yes to God. You know, I had a friend one time that he said, man, somebody called and said, hey, bro, we got 2 openings on a mission trip next week. Can you go? He said, yes, I can go. And because they created a life by saying yes to God, they built a life to where they could drop and go wherever God needed them. I have a friend of mine that he's an evangelist, and he's built his life with God. So whenever God needs him, he says, Joe, I can be anywhere in America within 24 hours. We built our life that when God's moving, I can drop and I can go wherever I want to go. When the Asbury revival broke out, one of my friends, he was one of the first ones there because he said yes to God so much. He said, God, this is what I want to do, what you want me to do. And God said, go help steward the revival. And he was a big part of the stewarding the revival. See, that's what you got to understand, that God is looking for somebody that he can dream through. He's looking for somebody that will just have reckless abandonment, that won't overthink things. Say it again, won't overthink things. Let me say it again. Don't overthink things. So many people will talk themselves out of what God is doing. My gosh, that sunlight is so bright. So is your future. So if you could do anything in the world for God without asking the question, how, what would you do? Then my next question is, why aren't you doing it? Why aren't you doing it? You know what? I remember when I was going to ask Autumn out for the first time. I remember that all these people were like, dude, there is no way a girl like that is going to go out with a guy like you. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm just crazy enough to think that she might. You know what? Now, honestly, I called her number for 2 straight hours and would dial it and hang up, dial it and hang up, dial it and hang up. Yeah, I was one of those doot, 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 push phones. And finally, I got the nerve up. You know what? 23 years, 3 kids later, you know, and when I met her, I knew she was the one to partner with. I mean, she's gorgeous, but her spirit was phenomenal to partner with in life, to partner with in ministry, to partner with in business. And so I didn't let fear stop me, but for about 2 hours I did. But let me ask you this, what is holding you back from just jumping in and going for it in life? Well, what is holding you back from just jumping into the things of God? And no, I'm not going to jump in the water in this video because it's cold. But what is that one thing that God has put on your heart and you're scared to do? Do it. Embrace the fear and go for it. Do it scared. Man, there's been so many things in my life. First time I spoke a message in Mexico, I was scared. First time I spoke a message in America, I was scared. First time I've done a lot of things in my life. First time I bought a rent house, I was scared. First time I signed and we built our first house, I was so scared. I was stuttering so bad, but I did it. There's times God told me to start businesses, and I would tell people, I'm starting a business. I'm going into ministry. And you get scared. But somebody's got to do it. Somebody's got to answer the call. Has God ever put somebody on your heart and you were nervous to witness to them? The reason he put them on your heart is because he wants them to be saved, or to give them a word, or to rededicate their life or something. And so I just want to encourage you today. If you could do anything in the world for God without asking the question, how, what would you do? And my next question is, why aren't you doing it? There is so much reward in knowing that you've done what God has called you to do. Let me tell you I'm going to tell you how to find people that aren't doing what they're called to do. They talk about everybody else. People will talk about everybody else, that's not doing what they're called to do. It's your time, it's your season to run hard after the things of God. I love you guys. Hey, I released a video, I think it was Saturday morning, about 5 prophetic words you need to hear before 2024. If you have not heard that, go back on, where is it at? It's on YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble, I believe. Go listen to it. It will help you, okay? Love you guys. Let's get some stuff done for the kingdom.